Boston Red Sox. Participating advertisers are Lowenbrow. When you want the taste of a truly great beer, there's really only one. Tonight, let it be Lowenbrow. And Toyota hopes you'll enjoy this Yankee game. You asked for it, now you get more than your money's worth at Toyota. Manufacturers Hanover, where it's banking the way you want it to be. Burger King, where you get the best darn burgers, all 100% pure beef. Pepsi-Cola and your local Pepsi bottler. Have a Pepsi day. Colonial Provision Company, the makers of Yankees Franks, with a taste that takes you out to the ball game. Con Edison, serving 9 million people in New York and Westchester. The 70 greater New York area Midas dealers who say, when it comes to your car, don't compromise, Midas-ized. Panasonic, just slightly ahead of our time with a full line of quality home electronics products. And the New York Yankees.
Have fun with Dyna Energet.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Frank Messer. Along with the Scooter Phil Rizzuto, we'll be joined later by Bill White on a beautiful, beautiful fall day here in Fenway Park. Phil Rizzuto, this is something I've never been through, you've never been through, a one-game playoff to decide the American League Eastern Division champion.
It's a shame it has to come down to that, Frank, really. I mean, they're two great teams, and to finish with 99 wins, both of them in 1 year, it's got to be fantastic. You know, it was 30 years ago, almost to the day, actually it was October 4th, when the only other playoff was here, and Bob Lemon was involved in that one too, and that time he was a player.
He was a player, so was Al Rosen, who is now the president of the Yankees. And as I recall, the Cleveland Indians won that ball game here from the Boston Red Sox. What about this afternoon's game, Scooter? The Yankees are going with Ron Guidry, again starting with only 3 days rest.
Well, if history repeats itself, the Yankees should win, because the Indians went with a left-hander, Gene Bearden, and the Red Sox went with a right-hander, Denny Galehouse. At that time, Joe McCarthy was managing, and Galehouse was the only pitcher to volunteer to pitch that playoff game. And I remember talking to McCarthy later on. He had been the Yankee manager. I played under Joe, and he was very upset because there were some other starters who he thought were better than Galehouse, but Galehouse wanted to pitch, and unfortunately he lost to the Indians.
All right, on paper, the Yankees, Guidry, a better record for the year than the Red Sox, Mike Torres, who really is not the #1 pitcher on that staff, and that is not to say that he might not go out this afternoon and pitch a no-hitter. I think perhaps season records have little to do with this one ball game.
You're absolutely right, Frank. Most of the times you can throw the records right out the window. The only thing in the Yankees' favor, I think, is that Torres, through his career, whatever team he's been with, has only defeated the Yankees 1 time and lost to them 5 times. Now, this is a big pressure ball game. We know that Ron Guidry is a kid seems to have ice water flowing through his veins. On the other hand, Torres, very excitable Latin type, and if things happen early in the ball game, we've seen it can get to him. So I think both clubs have to get to the starting pitches early, otherwise it's going to be a very low-scoring game.
All right, again, traditionally, the Yankees this year have not been a club to come from behind that often. The Red Sox have been a club that can come from behind. My thought is, if you got on the scoreboard first here, if the Yankees get on the scoreboard first, they could be in pretty good shape.
I think you're right, Frank, and that's one reason I'm happy that the Yankees are leading off in this ball game. And of course, Mickey Rivers, the big man for the Yankees, unfortunately he didn't get on against the Indians in the game they lost, but if he can start things off, we'll see a ball game. We'll see a lot of excitement.
All right, another point, Phil. The Yankees are playing without their regular second baseman, Willie Randolph, acclaimed by most experts as one of the best, if not the best, in the American League. By the same token, the Red Sox are playing without their regular third baseman, Butch Hobson, who is their designated hitter but can't throw.
Well, I don't think either position's going to be hurt too much defensively. I think Brian Doyle covers a lot of ground. The kid can make the double play. He's not nearly as good a hitter, we know, as Willie Randolph. And Brohammer the same way. He can field third base. He can't hit, but they do have Hobson in the lineup. He's the designated hitter, whereas the Yankees are going to miss Willie altogether.
All right, what about emotions for this ball game? I visited the Yankee clubhouse briefly and sort of an air of quiet anticipation there. The guy's trying to relax, but I don't see how anybody could really relax before this game.
You can't, Frank. I know first game before any World Series, I wouldn't sleep all night. We never had playoffs in those days. I'm sure a lot of the Yankee ball players had very restless nights. The Red Sox, of course, got a reprieve, never thinking they'd be in this playoffs, thinking that the Yankees were going to sweep Cleveland and win the pennant.
All right, and we'll be all set for this very important ball game when we come back in just 1 minute. This program is authorized under rights granted by the New York Yankees solely for the entertainment of our audience, and any publication, reproduction, or other use of the descriptions and accounts of this game without the express consent of the New York Yankees is prohibited. There are the two dugouts. Clyde King up on the top step of the Yankee dugout. Mickey Rivers will lead the ball game off with a bat in his hand. Ron Guidry right there. The camera just past him. Brian Doyle, Dick Hauser. You can pick them out probably just as well as we can from the number of Yankee games you've watched on television or out at Yankee Stadium this year. There's Ron Guidry with a jacket on. Kid looks like he's very relaxed down there. And Reggie Jackson up there in the upper part of the steps to the left of your screen as you look. And we're waiting now for the Red Sox to take the field, and I guess they're waiting on a cue from somebody down there, because we are now past the advertised starting time of this game. And now the Red Sox do take the field. This game, as you can see, is an absolute 100% sellout. They could have sold twice, maybe 3 times, maybe 4 times the number of tickets they were able to put out for this stadium. A crowd, I'm going to estimate 36,000. It may go even more than that. I do not know how many standees the Safety Commission here in Boston will allow into Fenway for the ball game. Mike Torres, during the season, won 16. He lost 12. His record this year, 1 win and 3 losses against the New York Yankees. As Phil Rizzuto told you, in his career, he has beaten the Yankees only 1 time and lost to them 5. This is Torres' 36th start. Last time out, he beat the Tigers on Thursday with a 3-hitter. So he is pitching on 3 days rest, but that is the way he likes it. That was a big bone of contention with Torres when he was with the Yankees. He wanted to pitch every 4th day, and in the Yankee rotation, that was not always possible. Torres let it upset him. But I'll tell you one thing about this man, Phil Rizzuto. He came back last year in the playoffs and the World Series and did just an outstanding job as a New York Yankee pitcher.
He really did. He's very surprised. He figures he's a great pitcher in the month of September and won only 1 game in the month of September.
This year at Fenway Park, Torres has won 8 and he has lost 6 in 17 starts. Prior to Thursday's win over the Tigers, he went 0 for 6 in 8 starts after winning his 15th game of the year, August 18th, out in Oakland. This will be the first time that Torres this year has been matched up against Ron Guidry. His only win this year against the Yankees, and the only win in his career against the Yankees, came August 3rd in New York, an 8-1 rain-shortened 6-inning ball game. So overall, Torres has pitched 19 innings this year against the Yankees, allowed 28 hits, 16 runs, 8 walks, 11 strikeouts, and an earned run average of 6.16. And ladies and gentlemen, let me go on record right now as saying, if you don't believe baseball is our national pastime, you should be here at Fenway Park this afternoon. Absolutely nothing like it. I've seen playoff games, I've seen World Series, and this has got to top anything I've seen in my baseball career. Mickey Rivers will lead off for the Yankees, and leading off with the play-by-play, here's Phil Rizzuto.
All right, Frank, Mick batted .264 in the year. 11 homers, 48 runs batted in, and this very important ball game will be officially started with his first pitch, and it's low ball 1. You saw the third baseman Brohammer sneaking in on the grass. Absolutely beautiful day, as Frank told you. Couldn't ask for a better day. Mickey using the crouch stance today. High, 2-0. I tell you, both pitchers trying to be very calm, but there's an awful lot of pressure. They know that every pitch, and the ball players know every play is so important. The whole season resting on this one ball game. Ball 3, 3-0. And it's strange to see Mickey trying to work his way on with a walk. He has gotten more walks this year than any other year as a Yankee. And that's not many, though. It is 27. So Mike Torres, 3-0. High, ball 4. He didn't come close for a strike. And we told you, when Rivers gets on, things happen.
Against the Red Sox this year, Rivers has stolen 2 bases in his only 2 attempts.
George Scott's coming over to talk with Torres to settle him down a little bit. You cannot imagine the tremendous amount of pressure that the ball players feel in a game like this. Now Torres wants a new ball. I don't blame him. He didn't get that one near the strike zone. Thurman Munson batting .297, 6 homers and 70 runs batted in.
Thurman came up 32 times against the Red Sox pitching, Scooter. 10 base hits, 9 singles, 1 home run.
All right, the wind, by the way, blowing quartering from left center over towards right field. And a lot of balls were hit on the screen against the wall in batting practice. Rivers leads away. There he goes. And it's high, the throw to second. He's safe. Holy cow. Mickey Rivers surprised everybody. A perfect throw by Fisk, but a stolen base easily.
Watch it here. Watch the jump Rivers gets. He steals that base on Torres. Look at him going before Torres even releases the ball. Fisk made a perfect throw and didn't even come close. Rivers stole that base on Torres, and had it not been for one of the best throws you'll see ever from a catcher, it wouldn't even have been that close.
You're right, Frank. So Rivers at second, and the pitch, by the way, was a ball. That's 5 straight balls that Torres has delivered. So the Yankees playing wide open baseball here in the first inning. He held up. Oh, he called it a strike. Munson, I believe, held up, but it must have nicked the corner. As Thurman asked the plate umpire. By the way, the umpires, Don Denkinger behind the plate, Jim Evans at first, Al Clark at second, and Steve Palermo over at third. Outside, 2-1. Rest of the Yankee order will be Piniella batting third in right field. Reggie Jackson, the designated hitter, bats cleanup. Greg Nettles at third, Chris Chambliss at first, Roy White in left, Brian Doyle at second, and Bucky Dent at short. Burleson trying to sneak in back of Rivers, and Munson swings and misses. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Thurman a big man here now. Either a base hit or a hit to the right side to advance Rivers to third. First run of the ball game, so important, Frank.
I've got to think Munson is a key man for Torres. This is the big man. Torres gets Munson, he might settle down.
And Munson held up. Ball blocked nicely by Fisk. Rivers had a hold at second. Fisk, one of the best in the business at blocking balls bouncing in the dirt.
Watch it again on the replay. Look at that. Changed the glove around, blocked it with his chest, really. Mask went off. He was ready to grab that ball and throw. Rivers, not gambling at all down at second base, held his ground. I'll tell you, Scooter, if Torres gets Munson, it could be a big boost to him. If Munson gets the base hit or even a walk, could be an early turning point in the game.
All right, and they've got action in the Red Sox bullpen, taking no chances. He wheels, throws, Rivers back. Good play there. Now, that was a time play. Torres did not tip it off. In other words, the shortstop gives a sign. He counts to 2 and breaks to second. The pitcher counts to 1 and wheels around and throws. 3-2 on Munson. Struck him out with a breaking pitch. A big strikeout for Mike Torres. And coming in with a good slider.
Let's watch it again. This is a big pitch for Torres. Pitch moved well. Munson really did not come close to it at all on his swing. Torres gets the man that he had to get right there. Bob Stanley is out there in their bullpen, Scooter.
All right, here's Lou Piniella. Lou has had a great year. 314 average, 34 doubles, leads the Yankees there. 5 triples, 6 homers, 69 runs batted in. Bounce it at third. Brohammer has it. Throws out Piniella, and there are 2 away. Told you Brohammer can feel that position. He ranged far to his left for that one. And now the crowd building up their boos for Reggie Jackson.
We'll watch that last play again. That's a good pitch for Piniella to hit. He hit on top of it. Good play by Brohammer to his left. Knows he has plenty of time to get Piniella, who is not fleet of foot to start with and still has an injured heel. Hard to run.
Well, Torres really throwing that slider now. He didn't have control of his fastball. And that's the pitch you got to go the opposite field on if you're a right-hand batter. Reggie Jackson batting .274. 26 homers and 96 runs batted in. 2 men out here in the top of the first. Looked like the Yankees were going to get on the scoreboard right away. They still have an excellent chance. Threw the fastball right by him. And that was right over the plate, not in on Reggie.
He had a clean swing at it. He was not tentative on his swing, so he makes contact. He can make the ball go, but he's got to get hold of it.
Strike 2. That one was on the inside corner. See the flag.
It is. It's blown as Phil told you, quartering out toward from the left field corner, sort of toward right field. It's strong enough to be a factor in this game, too. Could hurt a left-hand hitter, could blow a ball foul that could stay fair down the right field line.
All right, Reggie trying to get comfortable at the plate. And hits one to left. Will it carry? Yastrzemski, no, he's there. The wind held it up, and he makes the catch. And there the wind hurt Jackson and the Yankees. No runs, no hits, no errors. A man left, no score at the end of 1/2 inning.
The Yankees put the pressure on Torres in the top half of the first inning, but could not score. Rivers with the walk stole second, but the big play by Torres when he struck out Thurman Munson with the slider. Thurman tried to pull it and struck out. Didn't really come close to hitting the ball. The ball hit by Jackson, as Phil told you, held up by the wind. So now the Red Sox have a boost as they come to bat here in the bottom half of the first. They'll have Burleson, Remy, and Rice coming up against left-hander Ron Guidry. Ronnie over the year, 24 wins, 3 losses, 2-0 this season against the Boston Red Sox.
All right, Frank Burleson batting .248, 31 doubles, 5 triples, 5 homers, and 49 runs batted in. He likes to swing at that first pitch. And fouls it back up on the roof out of play. Strike 1.
For Guidry, this is his 35th start. He last pitched Thursday at Yankee Stadium, beat the Blue Jays 3-1 on a 4-hitter.
A little bit high with a breaking pitch, 1-1. Louisiana Lightning, Ron Guidry. Strike 2, a sharp breaking pitch by Guidry. A ball and 2 strikes on Burleson. Oh, Munson and Guidry wanted that one. Look at them. Don Denking has said no as Munson questions him. It's 2-2. Strike 3. I tell you, the pitch before that one was a better one than that one. But he struck out. So every once in a while when you argue, it does you a little bit of good.
Watch the last pitch again. Well, that pitch came down more as we saw it on the replay. When I saw it originally, I thought the pitch was coming in higher. It did break down just a bit.
All right, here's Jerry Remy, the second baseman. batting .276. He had a fine year. Ball one. He had 23 doubles, 6 triples, 2 homers, and 44 runs batted in. He was injured the last time the Yankees came up here to Fenway to play. High fly. The wind will hold that one up. Roy White moving in under it, and there are 2 away. You see the wind playing tricks with that ball, and now the man who most people think will be the most valuable player in the American League, although there's been a lot of votes, I think will be cast for Ron Guidry, Jim Rice. And the fans stand up, pay him tribute. What a year, Frank.
Yes, he has. He's had an excellent year. Guidry and Rice are going to finish 1-2 in the voting for the most valuable player in the American League. And from people I've talked to, it would appear that Rice has the slight edge in the voting among the writers on the committee.
All right, Frank. Strike one on Rice going for the net. He's batted .315 this year. 25 doubles, 15 triples, 46 homers, and 138 runs batted in. Strike two. I tell you, Guidry is just throwing his power against Rice's power. And so far, Guidry is out in front. 0-2. Low. Put a little extra on that one. Got away a ball and 2 strikes.
Here's an almost unbelievable note. 14 of Rice's homers have come in the first inning. Now listen to this. 30 of his home runs have either tied the score or put the Red Sox ahead.
You want to know something, Frank? Let's see. Just outside, 2-2. Just as Rice came up, that wind has shifted and is blowing towards left field. Would you believe it? The Red Sox even control the wind.
I believe anything I've seen.
Holy cow.
It did. It swung around.
Struck him out, though, on a good slider. Holy cow. 3 up, 3 down, into 1, no score.
All right, a quick look into the Yankee dugout. Skipper Bob Lemon with his troops. That's Clyde King on the left. Bucky down number 20 with his back to you. Pitching coach Art Fowler. Reggie Jackson, Thurman Munson with the gear still on. Where's that? That's Lemon right there in the middle. Fowler had just moved down the line. So the Yankees have the left-hand hitters coming up. Nettles, Chambliss, and of course Roy White, all batting lefty. And that wind, Phil, it's strange. It's still blowing out toward that left field wall, and just in a matter of like 1 minute, it completely turned around here.
It's unbelievable. I tell you, the pitch is going to have to be on the ball now, both Guidry and Torres. If that wind had been blowing like that when Jackson was up, his ball would have been either on the screen or high up off the wall.
I think it would have been on the screen. It was high enough, and it only had to carry about another couple of feet, Phil. That wind would have made a big difference in it. Of course, to get the ball on the screen, you got to hit it high in the air. That wall is only 315 feet down there, but you got to get it up 60 feet high when it comes down to make it go in that screen atop the left field wall.
We're waiting for those signs to be taken down. First time I've ever seen them or heard them on the PA system say take the signs down.
Evidently, just in direct line with the hitter would bother the hitter. There is no batter's eye as such here when they put fans in the bleacher seats in direct center field, and now the security people are out there requesting the fans to take their banners down. That is just a courtesy. Of course, they're not hanging over the wall, but as a courtesy to the hitters, and in this case the Yankee hitters, they will ask them to take them down.
All right, Greg Nettles steps in. Great year for Greg. Highest he's ever batted in the big leagues. 278. Leads the Yankees in homers. And ball one from Big Mike Torres. Nettles, 23 doubles, 2 triples, 27 homers, and 93 runs batted in. Check swing pop-up. That Burleson moving back, shading his eyes, and makes the catch. As Nettles couldn't check the swing. The ball was out of the strike zone. 1 away.
Here it is again. You'll see a very furtive swing on Nettles' part. Not aggressive at all. They tried to stop the bat, but he made contact. Indication he was fooled on that pitch completely. And now here's a guy who could be a key, Phil. He has not been swinging the bat that well the last few games.
No, and he's seen a lot of left-hand pitching, Frank. Chris Chambliss, and he takes the ball. Chris, the lowest I've ever seen him, 274, 26 doubles, 3 triples, 12 homers, 90 runs batted in. Mike Torres. No wind-up delivery. And that breaking pitch is over. 1-1. Torres having problems with the fastball, but he has been getting the slider and the curveball over. And as long as you're having success, you stick with it. There's a fastball inside, 2-1.
Plus, I've seen a pitcher start out in the game not have one of his pitches. It will come to him later on as he goes along in the course of a game.
Right, if he's lucky enough to stay in there.
Yeah.
Pull, but right at George Scott. Chambliss hit a bullet, but Scott guarding the line as well he should. Give him a single, but not a double. The Boomer comes up with it.
Let's see where this pitch is. Right down over the heart of the plate. Chambliss, that little step back, and it right at Scott. I tell you got that guy in there. You got a good defensive first baseman.
All right, Roy White, the batter. Roy batting .268, 13 doubles, 3 triples, 8 homers, 42 runs batted in. 2 out, nobody on, and no score in the top of the second. And not only has the wind shifted, it's getting chillier up here. Ball 1, Roy. In Boston, doesn't take long for weather to change. Good pitch. That thing really broke off the end of a table. 1-1. Two out, nobody on. Fouled as Roy went to left field with the breaking pitch away. Ball and 2 strikes. Great weather for the ball players. This little nip in the air makes you feel a little stronger, a little faster. Struck him out. No score at the end of an inning and a half.
All right, we're ready for the bottom half of the second inning here at Fenway Park. And other than our ball game there, let's listen to the ovation for Yastrzemski. And I can remember the time, Phil, and I know you can too, when Yaz did not hear everybody cheering for him, even in his own ballpark.
That's right, Frank.
I think it's a great thing that the fans have swung their allegiance back to one of the fine ball players of our era.
Absolutely. And Yaz says that this is the most important ball game he's played in his 18 years in a Red Sox uniform. Strike 1, Yaz. Batting .276, 21 doubles, 2 triples, 16 homers, 79 runs batted in. We have no score in the bottom of the second. Ron Guidry on the mound for the Yankees. That's gone. It's a home run if it stays fair. And a home run for Yastrzemski. The Red Sox lead 1-0. Oh, he really put a charge into that one. One of the few pitches that Guidry has gotten up.
It is, and there again, Phil, had that wind been blowing like it was in the first inning, that would have been a foul ball. The wind, for the moment, has just about died completely. Watch the pitch again. It's up, and Yastrzemski jumps on it. Drills it just inside the foul pole. Class man, and he is a clutch hitter, as everybody knows.
Crowd went wild up here in Fenway as the Red Sox take a 1-0 lead. Here's Carlton Fisk hitting .283, 39 doubles, 5 triples, 20 homers, 88 RBIs. Ball 1. And Guidry now, last 2 pitches have been up. He's been successful keeping that ball down to the Red Sox hitters. That's down, but too far down, 2-0. Beantown crowd can be a big help. Will get this one. They're not traveling to left field. Roy makes the catch. One away. Oh, Guidry now will work to Fred Lynn. Lynn batted .298 with 33 doubles, 3 triples, 22 homers, 81 runs batted in. He was a hot hitter for the Red Sox. And hits one deep to center. Mickey Rivers back on the track and makes the catch in deep center field. Holy cow, that's 3 hard hit balls off Guidry in this inning. So far, only one has hurt him.
You have to feel that Guidry may have lost just a little bit off his fastball. Earlier in the year, he'd get by with that pitch. He's going to now, I think, have to go to his slider more, Phil, and keep the ball down.
Well, that's what he did to Burleson and Rice. Butch Hobson, the batter. Strike one. Hobson batted .250 with 26 doubles, 2 triples, 17 homers, 80 runs batted in. Foul back, strike 2.
Something, a strange thing about Guidry, we've noticed it in several games this year. As the game goes along, he will start throwing harder.
That's right. He gets by the first couple innings. Fouled back again. Still nothing in 2. Red Sox in front, 1-0 on the homer by Yastrzemski. Guidry wasting no time. It's high, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Outside, 2-2. Butch Hobson's played with a bad elbow quite a bit of the year. Bothered his swinging and throwing. Bouncing ball to third. Nice play by Nettles. And the Golden Glove throws him out. 1 run on the homer by Yaz at the end of 2. Boston 1 and the Yankees nothing.
Bleacher seats for the American League Championship Series in New York are now on sale at more than 100 Ticketron outlets. The price is $4 plus a service charge with a limit of 4 seats per game per customer. To find the Ticketron outlet nearest you, call 212-977-9020. That number again, 212-977-9020. The 3 championship series games will be this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Well, there's a man who put the Red Sox ahead with his 17th home run of the year. Left fielder Carl Yastrzemski. An institution in Boston baseball for 18 years. Brian Doyle, Bucky Dent, and Mickey Rivers will be the Yankee batters here as we go to the 3rd inning. The Red Sox lead 1-0.
All right, Frank. Brian Doyle batted .200 on the year. Been about only 50 times, 10 hits, no extra base hits, no RBIs. And he pops one in shallow right. Remy is back there calling for it and makes the catch. 1 away. And once again, we mentioned the wind has completely turned around 100 degrees from the way it was blowing at the beginning of the game. Make that 180 degrees.
I'm not going to let you set my compass.
All right, Bucky Dent. Bucky batting .243, 11 doubles, a triple, 4 homers, 37 runs batted in. High ball 1. On the corner with a slider, 1-1. Bucky choking up on the bat, wearing 2 golf gloves. High, 2-1. Beautiful sunshiny day here in Beantown. Looper in a right center. Rice digging. And Rice makes the catch. He was playing dead shallow. The only reason he was able to come up with that ball, they had positioned him perfectly.
Watch it again. Defense so much a part of the game of baseball. Got it in down the bat handle. Rice coming on from the right-hand side of your picture to make the catch. Lynn would not have gotten to that ball. Neither would the second baseman Remy going back. If Rice had not caught it, the ball would have fallen in.
All right, the only Yankee to get on base now against Torres, Mickey Rivers. After that, Torres retired the next 8 batters. Mickey walked and stole a base first time up. Strike one. Red Sox leading 1-0 in the top of the third. Brohammer continues to play in at third. High 1-1. He walked Mickey on 4 straight pitches. Fair ball. And Mick's going to get at least a double out of this one. It hit the wall and almost stopped. A weird bounce off that wall, and Rivers gets the first Yankee hit of the ball game. A double past George Scott.
Let's watch it again. Rivers down in that crouch, strides into it and drills it just past Scott. Fair ball by about a foot or so. He saw the ball kick back and not to the right fielder Rice, so he started running hard again and made it easily into second base.
All right, each team now with a base hit. Except that Boston's was a homer by Yastrzemski. Now Thurman Munson, who struck out his first time up. So with 2 out, Rivers will be running with the crack of the bat. And Yaz is cheating a couple of steps in left field, hoping to throw Rivers out on a base hit. And Munson fouls it back on the roof, out of play, strike one. Thurman figures he's going to continue to get that slider from Torres. He kind of walked up on that pitch. Good block again by Fisk. That ball bounced about 3 feet in front of home plate. 1-1. Mike Torres. Try to relax out there. It's tough. Thurman getting that neck loosened up. That time Thurman went with the slider just a little late, lined it into the seats. 1 ball, 2 strikes on the Yankee captain.
Thurman's got to think now, will Torres come back with that slider again, knowing now that Thurman will try to go to right field with it, or will he come in on him, try to throw one by him? Pitcher has the advantage right now with a 1-2 count. Of course, he can fool around with a couple of pitches.
Thurman hits straight away. That's when he's dangerous. He held up a little high, 2-2. Boy, Torres had a little mustard on that pitch. He had it by Thurman, but a little bit high. Count is even at 2-2 with 2 out. Red Sox in front, 1-0, top of the third. In the all-important game for the American League East Divisional title. Struck him out again, and Fisk has to throw to first, and they get Munson. That ball hit the dirt. At the end of 2.5 innings, the Red Sox won and the Yankees nothing.
Well, the co-winners of the American League Pitcher of the Week award for the past week, announced here at Fenway Park, Ed Figueroa of the Yankees and Dennis Eckersley of the Boston Red Sox, both of whom became 20-game winners for the first time in their career.
And that's always a big thrill. Right now, the Boomer. George Scott batting .230 on the year. And Guidry's pitch high, ball 1. Scott ended the year with 15 doubles, 4 triples, 12 homers, 54 runs batted. And I shouldn't say ended the year because these stats count for the regular season. Deep to center. Rivers will not get this one. And it's off the wall. And a double for Scott as he missed a home run. They have hit some shots off Guidry. Rivers played that very well, and now Mickey's going to come in for glasses, I believe, Frank.
I don't know whether he even saw that ball or not. Ball is well hit. Rivers there realizes it's going to be over his head. He did see it. Got it back in. Surprised Scott was not a little closer to second base, although that ball was well hit.
Yep. Mickey now might be coming in for his helmet. I don't know whether anybody threw anything, or is it his glasses? No, it is glasses. He's mad. He threw glasses down on the ground, 2 of them. You know, he might have had problems with that, Frank, because it did hit near the base of the wall.
I thought the ball was catchable, really, Phil. I don't know. I don't think Rivers saw it at first.
And no, you're right. Not at first. Then, as you say, he played it well as he saw it was going. We look at it again. Now watch where this ball hits.
Right there, looks like he's in
Stop.
beside it.
Right. Now watch where it hits. Right there.
It was catchable.
Oh,
He'd
yes.
gotten a good break and run back on it.
All right. Nobody out now. I'm sure that, well, I shouldn't say I'm sure, but Broham's job is to get Scott over to third, and the Yankees will have to look for the bunt. He squares and bunts. It's a good one. Munson started for third, throws to first, and they get Broham on a beautiful sacrifice bunt.
I've got to wonder if they might not have had that play at third base, though, Phil. You know?
You saw Munson throw his hands up in the air. He started to throw. We're watching.
Let's watch again. Munson out there quickly looks to third, then double pumps and throws on to first base. On a play like that, the pitcher has to help the catcher out, I believe, tell him where to throw the ball.
Yep. All right, again, the Yankees have to look for a possible squeeze bunt. They got to bring the infield in. The Red Sox lead 1-0 with 1 out in the bottom of the third. Rick Burleson struck out his first time up. Little low, ball 1. So Ron Guidry in a little bit of a jam. 2 hits off Guidry have been bullets. The homer by Yaz and the double by Scott. A little low, 2-0. Burleson wants the umpire to look at the ball. He's going to throw it out of play. All right, Guidry has 2 strikeouts in the ball game. A bouncer, and they're going to hold Scott at third. And Nettles throws Burleson out, and that is a big, big play. 2 outs. Scott remains at third base, and the batter now, Jerry Remy. Once again, the Yankee infield has to be alert. This kid can bunt, can handle the bat well. Rivers playing very shallow in center. And slightly towards left center field on the left-hand batter, Remy. Strike 1, a breaking pitch nicked the corner. Remy didn't think so. Whoa! Just missed. 1-1. Strike 2, and that kind of a delayed call by the plate umpire Don Denkinger. Again, Remy a little unhappy. 3 very close pitches. All 3 could have gone either way. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Fly ball, and let's see, Rivers and White. White calls and makes the catch. Frank Messer will carry you along the next 3. At the end of 3, Red Sox 1, Yankees nothing.
Just join us, and Bill, we've seen some clutch pitching on both sides early in this ball game.
Torres looks like he's got an excellent slider. He got Munson twice with that slider. I don't know how long he can get away with 2 pitches, though, Frank. He's throwing that fastball and the slider. One key point here, that shadow. Prior to the ball game, the Yankees were complaining they couldn't see well in batting practice, and as that shadow moves out toward the mound, I think both teams once again will have trouble seeing the baseball. Of course, that'll be in the Red Sox favor because they already lead 1-0.
So important to get that early score, especially in a ball game like this. Lou Piniella leads off for the Yankees as we go to the 4th. Lou grounded out to the third baseman Brohammer. Strike one. Red Sox 1 run, 2 hits. The Yankees no runs, 1 hit. And it's off the glove of Burleson, a base hit for Piniella.
Now Lou's now hitting 12 straight, and he continues to hit. Let's watch it again. The pitch is right down the middle. Piniella chops it past Brohammer. See the ball hit in Burleson's webbing and bounced out. Base hit for Lou Piniella.
Piniella hit that ball just like he did the first time up, only he got it to the left side of the third baseman where he could not reach it. Chopped down on the ball the first time up and grounded right to Brohammer. Reggie Jackson missed a home run with the wind blowing against him. I think that wind held his ball in play in the first inning. Now the wind is blowing toward left field as it has turned around since the start of the game. Ball one.
There was a breaking ball. I think that's the first curve ball that Torres has thrown all afternoon. He's been throwing that hard slider inside and that hard high fastball.
Piniella is down at first, nobody out. Red Sox lead 1-0. He hit it well, but Rice is there and picks it off. Rice made a good throw back to first base.
Well, you can't hit the ball any harder than that, Frank Messer. The Red Sox fortunate that they evidently had the book on Jackson. Had Rice just where he should be. Bang, right there. He didn't get under the ball. Had he gotten under it, the ball might have hit that Prudential building about 5 miles from here.
I tell you, Rice made a strong throw back to Scott at first base, trying to double Piniella off. Jim Rice, not noted for his outfield play, noted for his bat.
Well, he's made 2 good plays.
He has.
Made a good play on Bucky Dent running into right center field back in the 3rd inning.
He's the only one that could have caught that ball. Good defensive book. Right field's a tough field here in Boston, too. It is the Sun Field. Greg Nettles takes a ball. He shaved Nettles just a bit to the right side. Piniella at first, 1 out. Out in front of it and fouled it back.
Took a little off that pitch.
Mike Torres, his 36th start. Pitched 243 innings in his first 35 starts, 267 hits. Struck out 116, walked 96 men. Really brought his earned run average down, even though he had a bad losing string late in the season. And the ERA well over 4 for most of the year. Nettles takes him the other way, foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Nettles popped up to the shortstop, his first time at bat, on a half swing. Red Sox are leading 1-0 on a Yastrzemski home run. Popped him up again into shallow left, and again the shortstop Burleson is there. Well, Torres twice has pitched tough to Nettles.
This ball will be inside, Frank. Fisk gave the sign of a fastball inside. He gets it right in there, right there. Nettles got it in on the bat just a little bit too much and popped it up. I don't think you can consistently pitch Nettles there, especially as the ball game wears along and that fastball loses a little bit of the velocity.
Chris Chambliss steps in. Chambliss hit the ball hard, but right at George Scott. He had a good swing, fouled it back. Yankees have 2 hits, a double by Rivers and a single by Piniella. They've had Rivers at second base twice, but unable to score him. Both times Munson struck out as the next hitter. The shortstop Burleson has it right at the bag and steps on second for the unassisted force. At the end of 3 1/2, it's Boston 1, New York nothing.
Well, now's the time to start thinking about season tickets for the 1979 Yankee games. Be assured of the best seats for all the action next year by having your own full season or combination plan. For more information, call Group and Season Sales at 212-293-6000. That number again, 212-293-6000. Oh, we see the flag, Frank Messer, blowing a bit toward left field instead of toward right field as it was earlier in the ball game. And I think each time Rice has been up, that wind has turned around and blown toward left.
You're absolutely right, Bill. That was the first time it turned around when Rice came to bat in the first inning. But nonetheless, Guidry struck him out. Guidry struck out 2 of the 3 hitters in the first. He has not struck out a man since. Yastrzemski hit a home run to right. Scott has doubled. Those are the only 2 Boston hits. Foul back, out of play on the right side. Perfectly clear day here in Boston. Jim Rice has had an outstanding year. Just really an almost unbelievable year. Out of play.
Guidry's the kind of pitcher, Frank, that gives Rice a lot of trouble. He can't afford to wait back on the ball. He's got to hurry because he knows that ball is coming in there 95, 96 miles an hour. He's a better hitter when he can sit back and wait on the ball.
That will be a foul ball, and it's going to be out of play. Ron Guidry throughout the year pitched on 4 days rest. Now he is pitching on 3 days rest as it comes down to the end of the campaign. Bucky Dent. Bad throw, but Chambliss had to tag Rice. Bucky Dent has had trouble with his throws quite a few occasions this year.
And let's watch it again. It's a grass cutter to Bucky Dent, and he's got plenty of time. Comes up with the ball here. Throws it high. Now, lucky Chambliss keeps that ball in the first baseman's net. Sometimes you hit that like that, and the ball flies out, especially a big guy like Rice running.
All right, there is one away, and the batter, Carl Yastrzemski, gets quite an ovation. His home run leading off the second, the only score in this game. Ball 1. It was his 17th home run of the year. 39 years old, just signed a new 5-year contract. How
many years, you say?
I told 5 years. He had said that next year might be his last year, but evidently has changed his mind.
Maybe that's a year playing and 4 years of PR like Willie McCovey got with the San Francisco Giants.
I don't know what the fine print says, but I tell you, got a guy like Yastrzemski around, I think you give him just about anything he wants.
Well, Father Time eventually catches up with you, though. When you can't contribute anymore, I think he has to know when he should quit, though, probably better than I.
Two balls and 2 strikes on him.
Ted Williams played into his 44th year. Stan Musial played through his 44th year.
Of course, Ted had all those years out for military service. I don't know what that would add to or subtract from. Had him way out in front, he fouled it off. Yastrzemski has played hurt a lot this year. He's got a back problem.
Got a bad hand, too.
Yeah. You know, Bill White, the team that's benefiting, sitting back, sort of chuckling over the whole thing, the Kansas City Royals. Out in front again, pulled a foul over the roof. Royals know that whether they meet the Yankees or the Red Sox, they'll come in one pitcher shy for the championship series, having to play this extra game.
They've already put out their pitching rotation to the Royals. Leonard, Gura, and Splitor in the first 3 ball games.
He struck him out. Oops. Yaz tried to check the swing and could not. Guidry gets his 3rd strikeout. I'd heard Whitey Herzog say earlier that if he played the Red Sox, he would start Leonard, but if he played the Yankees, he would start Splitoff in the first game. The note sheet here in Boston says, as Bill gave them to you, Leonard, Gura, and Splitoff. Here's Carlton Fisk, an invaluable man to the Boston Red Sox. He's played hurt a lot this year. An outstanding catcher. Good hitter. .283 average, 20 homers, 88 runs batted in. Strike 1. And now you see the shadow Bill's talking about. From that angle, you can see the shadow coming out toward the home plate area. Another inning or so, the hitters will be in the shade. And the pitcher will be thrown out of the bright sunshine. Advantage pitcher.
You know, I talk about that so often, Frank, because it's so important. You know, as a hitter, you hate to see those shadows move in on you. Of course, if you're a pitcher, you don't mind.
No, I think pitchers rather see every game start about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, wouldn't they? 3:30. No ball, 2 strike count on Carlton Fisk. 2 outs, none on. Center field, Rivers, can he get to it? He can, and he makes the catch deep. 3 up, 3 down, into 4. It's Boston 1, the Yankees nothing. We go to the 5th inning here at Fenway Park. The Yankees will bat Roy White, Brian Doyle, and Bucky Dent, the lower third of the batting order, against Torres. Hitter is still in sunshine. The shadows get closer and closer. Impossible to get a ticket for this ball game. Stadium completely sold out. Roy White struck out his first trip. Torres has walked 1, struck out 3, allowed 2 hits. Double by Rivers and a single by Piniella. 2 balls and no strikes on Roy White. Roy's made such a great contribution down the stretch, Bill, and I know I like to see the veteran player come through in clutch situations.
No, he has done that. Didn't get a chance to play early, but he has really made his presence felt lately.
No question about it. That's ball 3. 3-0. And he has to duck away from ball 4. Second walk by Torres. Torres walked Rivers leading off the ball game. Mickey Stoll second and died there as the next 3 hitters could not move him up. Munson struck out, Piniella grounded out, and Jackson flied out. This is the 3rd inning out of 5. The Yankees have had the leadoff man on. Brian Doyle is the batter. Slap hitter, chokes way up on the bat handle. Strike 1. Brian's older brother played right here for the Red Sox. Roy White at first, Scott holding. White's going, and it's hit sharply to the second baseman, Remy, who throws out Doyle. Had they not had White going, that would have been a double play. But White broke, and no throw to second base.
Here it is again. Bryant hits the ball hard on one hopper to Remy, who thinks about going to second, but changes his mind and makes a sure play at first base. The Yankees have hit the ball hard, but they've hit the ball right at people. I don't think any ball has been harder hit all afternoon. The ball Reggie Jackson hit to Jim Rice.
You don't hit a ball any harder than that. Bucky Dent up, fly to right his first trip. And pops this one up out behind second. Burleson is there. Fights off the sun as he makes the catch. And there are 2 down.
This is going to be a little some kind of confrontation here, Frank Messer, with Mike Torres pitching to Mickey Rivers. Mike's been trying to get away with 2 pitches. The fastball, which he normally leads the batter off with, and you throw it up and in on you to break you off. Then he'll throw you the slider. We watch this play again with Dent popping it up. Mickey, a pretty good fastball hitter. So he sat over there and he's seen that Torres has thrown only 1 changeup all ball game and 1 curveball. And let's see what Torres does with it. First of all, they're going to move Scott back. They're not going to play him in shallow at first base.
Mickey has walked and doubled. Slaps it left side. Roy White almost hit by it, and they make the throw to third, and White is out. Burleson to Brohammer, and Roy White is out at third on the fielder's choice to retire the side at the end of 4 1/2. It's Boston 1 in the...
Certainly throws the ball at third. White had to change direction, and he's... I don't know if he ever tagged him or not, but he's called out easily there at third base by the third base umpire, Steve Palermo. So a heads-up play by the Red Sox.
It was. You saw Burleson just take a quick glance over toward first base as he fielded that ball and realized his best play was to go for the lead runner, and he got White easily. He just did. He glanced quickly to first base. His momentum was carrying him away from that play, Bill. He would have had to stop, set himself, and throw. Good play by Burleson. All right, we go to the bottom half of the 5th. Freddie Lynn leads off, to be followed by Hobson and Scott. Breaking ball misses. Lynn hit the ball deep to center field, and Rivers caught it back in the 2nd inning. Boston leads 1-0. Foul ball.
Johnny Pesky still has good hands. He played in the last American League playoff game here against the Cleveland Indians, along with Cleveland Indian president Al Rosen and the present Cleveland skipper Bob Lemon.
That's right. Lem sat on the bench. He was not in that game, but he was in uniform for the Indians. Check swing, ground to right back to Guidry. I believe, as I recall that game in 1948, Johnny Pesky and Bobby Dorr were the only 2 Red Sox to get extra base hits in the game, and they were that year considered to be an outstanding hitting ball club.
Yeah, but Gene Bearden had a pretty good knuckleball.
That's right, left-hander. Butch Hobson is the batter. Lou Boudreau hit a couple of home runs in that game as the playing manager of the Indians. Hobson grounded out to third his first time up. Guidry starts him off with a strike. Now the Heat misses. 1-1. Boston leads 1-0 on a 2nd inning leadoff home run by Carl Yastrzemski. Foul back.
Ouch, that got Munson. Look at that rising fastball, Frank, and that sinking slider. The catcher gets beaten up quite a bit. Get on top of that slider. Underneath the rising fastball.
That will be out of play. Catcher really works at his job. It's not only physical, but it takes a tremendous mental toll.
You're blamed for as many long balls as a pitcher.
Yeah.
Everybody says you shouldn't have called that pitch.
Foul ball. Foul ball.
Let's watch it again. The ball is down on Hobson. He goes down on the ball and pulls it. The third base umpire, Steve Palermo, right on the play. The ball just outside the bag. Nettles diving. Didn't have to get dirty.
That's Guidry's favorite two-strike pitch. Ball moving down into the right-hand hitter. He struck out more men on that pitch this year, I think, than any other one. And Hobson got enough of it to stay alive. And it is off his glove. Hobson settles for one base as Roy White gets to the ball quickly. Base hit.
Let's watch it again. They thought Nettles between hops here. Same kind of pitch, up a little bit more. Nettles backs off just a little here, and the ball comes up, and it hits the webbing of the glove and doesn't stay in. Hobson decides to hold at first base. I thought he might have had a shot at going to second, but he decided to play it safe.
All right, the Red Sox with one out have Hobson on. That is their third hit of the game. George Scott, the batter, doubled off the center field wall his first time up. Strike one. Scott was benched for a while for not hitting. Then when he came back on the lineup, he has been hitting the ball better. One ball and one strike. That one got the plate umpire, Don Deckinger. One ball, two strikes. Struck him out. Guidry gets his fourth strikeout. Boston is leading 1-0 here in the fifth inning. A home run by Yastrzemski in the second, the only scoring in this game. Jack Brohammer sacrificed in the third inning, following a double by Scott. Ball and a strike. Well, television replays last night when I came into Boston, Bill, on Brohammer catching the final out of the ball game yesterday for the Red Sox against Toronto. You'd think it was the final game of the World Series, as elated as he was and as his teammates were. 3 balls and a strike.
Well, they hung in, Frank, just like the Yankees coming from 14 games back. They could have given up. They did not. Red Sox, you got to give them credit. They hung around. When the Yankees blinked, they took advantage of it.
Guidry just lobs it over there. Mark of 2 good ball clubs. Neither one gave up any time during the year. Foul back. Red Sox had the strong first half, the Yankees the strong second half, then Boston came back strong in the last week or so. In the air, left field, Roy White will be there, and that retires the side at the end of 5. It's Boston 1, the Yankees nothing.
I'm sorry, go on.
I was just going to give the batting order here for the 6th inning, Bill.
I was going to say the same thing. They've got the meat of their batting order coming up here against Mike Torres, Munson, Pennell, and Jackson, and wonder if Mike will continue pitching the same pattern. So far, it's been successful for him. He's only given up 2 base hits to the Yankees.
He's got Munson in 2 key situations. In the first inning with Rivers at second and nobody out, Torres struck him out. In the third inning, with Rivers at second and 2 outs, Torres again struck Munson out. If the Yankees win this game and go on to Kansas City, we will be televising tomorrow night's game here on 11 Alive WPIX at 8 o'clock. And as they say in the trade, no road company, the original cast. Outside of third, strike one on Munson. But right now, the Red Sox have a 1-0 lead built around the home run by Yastrzemski. Foul ball again as Munson is lunging at the
Yeah,
pitcher.
he's got him he's throwing that slider, Frank, low and in and low and away, and Thurman obviously, I think, is having trouble picking the baseball up.
Well, now, Bill, the shadow you talked about before has reached the home plate area.
Well, he had trouble before. When he struck out the 2 times the shadow wasn't there, he was still lunging for the ball. Struck out once on a very bad pitch, low and away.
In the dirt.
Yep.
Tried to take that one to right field and fouled it away.
Well, certain parks just give you trouble. I remember Houston. I never daytime games there, which they seldom played, but in the Astrodome there was right straight out in center field. The sun shone would shine through there. Never could hit there. That's the way I stood at the plate.
Foul this one back.
Nobody else had any trouble.
I think over the course of baseball, there have been some parks that hitters could hit in no matter who pitched. Other parks, they couldn't get a base hit in, save their life, no matter who pitched.
Well, and you think about it, you psych yourself out.
All right, Torres has Munson down. No balls, 2 strikes. Check swing. Did he check it? He did not. He's called out. He's called out by the first base umpire, Jim Evans. Munson is called out by Evans. Here it is.
Good ball away from Munson, going down, and the bat crossed the plane of the plate. Sometimes that's one of the points they look at, and evidently Jim Evans felt that that was far enough to call Munson out. 4th strikeout for Mike Torres.
He has made Munson look bad at the plate in this game. Struck him out 3 times in a row now. Lou Piniella, 1 for 2. Center field, Lynn is after it. Never took his eye off the ball, and he's got it. He had to go a long way for that one. It was hit hard. Never took his eye off of it.
Now Scott's saying something to Mike Torres as Reggie Jackson stands in. He wants to be a little more careful with Jackson. He grooved the fastball to Reggie last time up, and Jackson got it off, but didn't get under the ball. Just hit it silently and drove it to Jim Rice in right field. They're really playing it safe, Frank. Scott's going to, it's just the 6th inning, and Scott's going to guard the line at first base. Normally, you wait until the 8th, 9th inning to do that.
And the dirt bounces back on the screen. First time up, Reggie hit a fly ball to left field. The wind was blowing from left to right at that time, and I've got to feel the wind held the ball up. It was caught right at the foot of the wall by Yastrzemski, a towering fly. Then Reggie lined out to the right fielder, Rice. Two balls, no strikes. And the count goes 2-1. The Red Sox are out in front, 1-0. We're in the 6th inning. Mike Torres has allowed the Yankees only 2 hits. Two balls, 2 strikes.
Well, you very seldom hit a home run, Frank, when you swing that way. Normally, you keep your eye on the ball and just carry it through, and that's when you hit the ball well. When you end up spinning around like that, you very, very, very seldom hit the home run. The pitcher almost has to hit your bat.
Torres thought he had that one for a strike. He was halfway to the dugout.
That's curveball low and in.
Torres trying to buy one.
His second breaking ball he's thrown this ball game. He can get in trouble now if he walks Jackson. Nettles next up. He's got a pitch from the stretch. Should he not get Jackson?
He's got him on the ground ball to Remy. And at the end of 5.5, it's Boston 1, New York nothing. Ball 1. Chambliss had charged. Nettles broke back to cover third base. Hopeful of a force play. Or rather, not a force play, but a play out there. Guidry falls behind 2-0 to Remy. Nettles will have to field it, so the runner will advance. Nettles throws him out to Chambliss. 5-3 sacrifice moves Burleson over to third. Remy did what he wanted, made Nettles field that ball. So no chance of a play back at third. That's how they feel about Jim Rice here in Boston. Infield is in with a runner at third, 1 out. You got to play him in tight. Fouled it off Munson, strike 1. In all probability, Jim Rice will be the most valuable player in the American League. I have to feel he and Guidry will finish 1-2. Not necessarily in that order, but the leaning is toward Rice. And Rivers cannot get it. It's a base hit. And Boston goes out in front 2-0.
Frank, looked like he might have handcuffed Rice, but this fella's strong. He got the bat way in and then got the head of the bat out. Really didn't open his arms up and get a good swing, but he's so strong that he just ripped that ball to center field.
He really did, as you can see it on the replay, just muscled that ball. Pure strength. Yastrzemski up, 1 out, Rice at first. Yastrzemski homered leading off the second. He struck out in the 4th. Boston leads 2-0. Ball and a strike. Yastrzemski batting .277 for the year. Now 17 homers. Rice at first. 2 balls, 1 strike to Carl. Now the plate umpire will take a look at the baseball. Don Denkinger calls for it. Rubs it out and gives it back. Red Sox now have 2 runs on 5 hits and lead 2-0. 3 balls and a strike to Yastrzemski. Going for a big breaking ball.
Well, what happens, Frank, as you get older, you become a one-pitch hitter. You either hit the fastball or you hit the curve. You got to make up your mind, hit one or the other. It's hard to handle both as the older you get. That's why I question whether Carl really wants to play 5 more years. Plus, you become more susceptible to injuries as you go along.
Runner goes. Bouncer to Chambliss, no play to second. He'll take it back to first to get Yastrzemski. 2 down. That will bring Bob Lemon out. They'll discuss Carlton Fisk with Lynn on deck and first base open. Would you rather pitch to Fisk or pitch to Lynn? Bob Lemon with his very low-key approach to baseball, making the decision as to whether or not to pitch to Fisk.
He's also looking out in right field. He's got Gossage throwing out there. I don't think that Lem wants to make a pitching change here, but no, he isn't. He's going to go on back.
Well, in the last 2 American League playoffs to decide the season winner, Bob Lemon has watched the games from the dugout. In 1948 as a pitcher for the Cleveland Indians, in 1978 as the manager of the Yankees, in this same ballpark.
And it looks like they're going to put Fisk on. That was the decision they made out on the mound.
They would rather pitch to the left-hand hitting Lynn. This will be the first walk given up by Guidry, and it is an intentional walk. Guidry has struck out 4 men. Fred Lynn will step in with runners at first and second. Ball 4 is thrown, and Fisk goes to first. Runners first and second, 2 outs. Boston leading 2-0 here in the bottom half of the 6th. Fred Lynn, the batter. Lynn in the 2nd inning hit a ball to deep center field, and Mickey Rivers ran down and caught. Then in the 5th, he grounded back to the pitcher, Guidry. Boston in front, 2-0. 2 on, 2 out in the bottom half of the 6th. Ball 1. That is slicing foul, well back in the seats and left. 1 ball, 1 strike. Foul ball on the right side, and it's 1-2. Runners first and second, 2 out. Three balls and 2 strikes. Make that 2 balls and 2 strikes on Lynn. 2-2. is 3-2, and the runners will be going. Rice will break from second. Fisk from first. Right field. Pinella's after it. And he's got it. What a catch by Pinella. Made a basket catch going back toward the corner. And that retires the side. Bill White will carry along. End of 6. Boston 2, New York nothing.
Inning now, and Greg Nettles will lead off against Mike Torres. Nettles has been up twice against his former teammate and popped up to shortstop both times. It'll be Nettles, Chambliss, and then Roy White. The curve's a strike. Torres has not used a curveball too often this afternoon. He's only thrown it 3 or 4 times. He's gone basically with the fastball and the slider. 1 or 2 changeups. So far, he's pitched an excellent ball game, giving the Yankees just 2 base hits. That's in the right field. Should be easy for the right fielder, Jim Rice. 1 away. And the batter is Chris Chambliss, the Yankee first baseman. He lined hard to first base to George Scott in the 2nd inning and forced a runner in the 4th inning. So Chambliss is 0 for 2. He's batting .273 now with a dozen home runs and 90 runs batted in. Strike 1 on Chambliss. Base hit for Chambliss as he goes the other way. And Yastrzemski will block the ball and get it in, and Chambliss will hold it first. That's the Yankees' first base hit off Mike Torres since the 4th inning when Pinella led off with a single. So Chambliss on at first with 1 away. And here's Roy White. He struck out and walked. White's 0 for 1 in this ball game, batting at .267. White has had a great 2nd half. Did not get much chance to play in the 1st half, but has really come on and done an excellent job with the Yankees here in the 2nd half of the season. Base hit for White. Chambliss will hold at 2nd base. So back-to-back singles by Chris Chambliss and Roy White. The Yankees have 2 men on base with just 1 away here in the 7th inning. And Andy Hassler, a left-hander, gets up and starts warming up in the Boston Red Sox bullpen. And he's joined by right-hander Bob Stanley. So Stanley, the right-hander, on the left of your screen, and the left-hander Andy Hassler, as Fisk wants to talk to Mike Torres. Like we're going to get a pinch hitter for Brian Doyle. Jim Spencer being sent out by Bob Lemon. So Jim Spencer will bat for Brian Doyle. Yankees down 2-0. They need the long ball here in the 7th inning. Spencer batting .228 overall. He's been up 149 times, has 34 base hits, 7 home runs, 24 runs batted in. As a pinch hitter, he's batting .304, 7 base hits, 23 times up. The home run, 9 runs batted in. Spencer normally a pretty good fastball hitter. And here comes Don Zimmer, the Red Sox skipper. Now Zimmer and Lemon beginning to play a little chess here at Fenway Park. Zim, since Torres has now given up 4 base hits, might be just telling him to stay away from that low fastball with Spencer. Maybe keep the ball out over the plate, use the breaking ball. Or let's see, does he want the left-hander? Evidently not. Fisk spins and goes back to home plate, so he's going to let Torres stay in the ball game. Pitch to Spencer. Red Sox have a 2-0 lead here in the 7th inning. The Yankees have runners at first and second, and one away as Zimmer goes back to the Red Sox bench. Spencer has won 4 games for the Yankees this year with base hits. He got a fastball and fouled it back, and Fisk certainly did not like that pitch. He'll go out and talk to Torres. I think he threw a pitch that Mike threw a pitch that Fisk certainly did not like. He got that fastball in there. Spencer got a good rip at it. No balls and a strike. Probably get Fred Stanley in at second base, bottom half of this inning. Willie Randolph is here. He's in uniform. Of course, he's still bothered by that pulled hamstring in his left leg. Low. That's more like what Fisk wants. He wants a breaking ball. Ball and a strike on Spencer. In the dirt again with the curveball. It's 2-1. Now he's got to come in with the fastball or the slider. Oh, the count, 2 balls, 1 strike on Jim Spencer. Chris Chambliss is at second base. Roy White at first. There's 1 out here in the top of the 7th. The Red Sox lead 2-0. In the left field, Yastrzemski's right there. Yaz had him played perfectly. 2 outs. Now the batter's Bucky Dent, the Yankee shortstop. He's flied to right and popped to short. Dent's 0 for 2. Bucky got a key base hit here against Denny Eckersley when the Yankees won 4 in a row here last time they played in Fenway Park. Eckersley had 2 strikes on him. This is another key situation for Bucky Dent. Runners at first and second, 2 outs. Yankees down 2-0. 2 low, ball 1. Torres has given up back-to-back singles by Chambliss and White here in the 7th inning. But he got pinch hitter Jim Spencer, and he's down 1 ball, no strikes to Bucky Dent. Fouled off his foot. It's 1-1. Bucky's given up wearing that protection on his left ankle. Fouls a lot of balls down there. He had been wearing a shin guard just where he's touching. Gene Monahan, the Yankee trainer, now out talking to Dent. Just off the left end step. Right there. And we'll get the ethyl chloride out and spray it. Dick Hauser, the Yankee third base coach, in there looking. That's only temporary relief. Sometimes I wonder if it's relief at all. Here it is again. Dent getting on top of the ball right off the left end step, and that's Marks. Well, the bat boy brings Bucky a new bat, and he'll exchange bats. The count's 1-1. 2 outs and 2 on. The Red Sox lead at 2-0 in the 7th inning here at Fenway. Deep to left. Yastrzemski will not get it. It's a home run. A 3-run home run for Bucky Dent. The Yankees now lead it by a score of 3-2. Bucky Dent has just hit his 5th home run of the year into the screen. And look at that Yankee bench, led by Bob Lemon. Big Cliff Johnson out there. And a happy Bucky Dent. Yankees now lead 3-2. Boy, the last guy on the ball club you'd expect to hit a home run just hit one into the screen. Bucky Dent. Now comes Miller time. When you've got the time to celebrate something special, head for the best tasting beer you can find. Miller High Life. There's that ball going up on the screen. And Mickey Rivers just fouled one back. Chambliss scored. Roy White scored. Bucky Dent floated home. And the Yankees lead it 3-2. Rivers has walked, doubled, and forced a runner. One and one. So Bucky Dent hitting White what has to be the biggest home run of his career. Lifted one on the screen against Mike Torres with 2 runners on. And the Yankees lead by 1. Curveballs to strike, 1-2. Yankees now have 3 runs on 5 base hits. The Red Sox 2 runs on 5 base hits. 2-2, and the Yankees have Rich Gossage loosening up in the bullpen. See, the Red Sox will have Hobson, Scott, and Brohammer, 2 right-handers and a left-hander, due in the bottom of this inning. And we might get Gossage in the ball game. Guidry pitching with just 3 days rest. That'll kick foul. Better, yep, and Fisk hurries and picks it up before it goes back fair. 2-2.
Don't ask me to say anything. I've been holding my breath, Bill White.
I'm not going to ask you to say anything. How'd you like that ball up on that screen?
Oh, you know, I was in the press room with all those Red Sox fans, and when Bucky hit it, I let out 3 holy counts, and I thought Frank Malzone was going to bite me on the ankle. Oh.
3 balls, 2 strikes on Mickey Rivers. Big home run by Bucky Dent. Foul, still 3-2. You know, I think Scooter, had the Yankees had an experienced shortstop, Dent might not have gotten a chance to bat there.
You know, you're absolutely right. They had to go for pinch hitters there, but they are strapped with the injury to Willie Randolph.
Stanley will play second base,
yep.
And the only other shortstop is Domingo Ramos. Denny Sherrill was signed as a shortstop. Well, Rivers walks, and that's going to be all for Torres. Don Zimmer coming out of the dugout, and it looks like he waved the right hand. He wants Bob Stanley. So Rivers walks, and Mike Torres will take a walk. He has pitched a pretty good ball game, except here in this inning. He'd given the Yankees just 2 base hits coming into the 7th inning. He got Nettles on a fly ball, then gave up a single to left field to Chris Chambliss. Roy White single to center. Jim Spencer batting for Brian Doyle, fly to Carl Yastrzemski in left field. Then Bucky Dent lifted one onto the screen in left field to give the Yankees a 3-2 lead, and Mike Torres gets a hand as he leads. Very dejected. I think Mike certainly wanted to beat his former major. He'd said a few things about him over the year. Career-wise against the Yankees, Torres has had trouble. He's only won 1 game and lost 5. And here in 78, he's 1-3. So Torres gives way to Bob Stanley, who will pitch to Thurman Munson. I know Munson's one guy that's glad Torres is gone.
Boy, I never saw Munson look that bad at the plate and strike out 3 times and twice on check swings where he tried to check himself.
I think Thurman, like a lot of the hitters this afternoon, having trouble picking the bat up. Picking the ball up, not the bat.
You better keep talking. I'm in a state of shock, Bill White, so I'm not going to be much help up here.
You aren't?
Nope.
You ought to be happy.
Yeah, but I'm like a hen on a hot rock. I don't know whether to jump or sit or lay an egg. Yeah. You know, at least when you're playing, you can your energy, you can use it up. But when you're just sitting here biting your nails.
Well, Stanley's finished. He's making his 52nd appearance for the Boston Red Sox. He's won 15 ball games and lost just 2, and he's picked up 10 saves. So he'll pitch to Thurman Munson with Mickey Rivers on at first base and 2 men out here in the 7th inning with the Yankees leading the Red Sox by a score 3-2. The last time Rivers walked back in the 1st inning, he stole second.
He almost threw that one away. He's going to go, right, Bill?
I think he's going to go at some point while Munson's up there. Stole his 24th base back in the 1st inning.
Hope he didn't hurt himself. Gene Michael concerned.
No, he hurt himself if he let Scott hit him with a tag. That's what he's got to worry about. Rivers with 24 stolen bases. And he is going.
Yeah.
And he's safe again at second base as Fisk threw a one-hopper to Jerry Remy.
Oh, that Rivers is something. Everybody knows. Look at that jump he's got. And Fisk this time bounces one, turns into a good throw. But Rivers just too quick.
Well, Mickey down at second base with his 2nd stolen base of the ball game. He now has 25 on the air. He's only been thrown out 5 times. Willie Randolph leads the Yankees in stolen bases. He has 36. Of course, he cannot play and just might not play the rest of the year. Should the Yankees hang on and win this ball game? Willie's stolen 36 bases. He's been caught 7 times. Bad omen, Scooter, though. Munson swinging through that slider.
Yep. He's got to go to right field. That's... Nope.
That might be trouble. It's going to fall. Base hit. Rivers will score. Munson will try for 2 as Lynn bobbles the ball out in left center, and he's there with a double. Yankees now lead it by a score 4-2.
That's what I said. He's got to go to right field.
Here it is again. Oh, it didn't look like it was hit that hard.
No, but it was in a perfect spot. Right between Yaz and Lynn. There's Lynn having problems picking it up, but Rivers would have scored and Munson would have been in second anyway.
Well, that cements the record of Mike Torres. Anything the Yankees get now this inning will be on the record of Bob Stanley as Lou Pinella's a batter. He's bounced out, single, fly to center field. Into right field. And Rice is there. And the side is retired. Yankees score 4 times in the top of the 7th. And at the end of 6 1/2, the Yankees 4, the Red Sox 2.
6 2/3 innings, 5 hits, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts, and 4 runs allowed. And Guidry's still out there, William.
Yes, he is. And let's see, Gossage still throwing on the bullpen. I don't know why Goose threw all the way through the top of this inning while the Yankees were batting for. I guess he wants to make sure he's good and loose. Well, Ron Guidry celebrating Air Stanley. Fred Stanley moves in to play second base for Brian Doyle. Guidry is celebrating being named the co-winner of the Player of the Week in the American League, along with Denny Eckersley, the pitcher for the Boston Red Sox. Butch Hobson bounced to third and single. Oh, he's 1 for 2. Bottom of the 7th, the Yankees ahead 4-2 over the Sox. 2 strikes. A little fella from Lafayette, Louisiana. Pitching with just 3 days rest. Just missed outside. 1-2. Got him. Stayed away from him. Struck out Hobson. 1 away here in the 7th inning. That's strikeout number 5 for Guidry. And he now has, let's see, 243 plus 5, 248.
And again, a reminder that everything that happens in this game is added to the statistics of this year.
Oh, Ron Guidry now will pitch to George Scott, the first baseman. That might go through. It'll go through the right side. They had Stanley set up playing Scott to pull. He hit a ground ball through the right side, his second base hit in the ball game. So he's there at first base with 1 away. And here comes Bob Lemon with Jack Brohammer due on. Up, they had Bob Bailey out there.
I don't know
if Bailey had been announced or not.
I'm sure he had. I don't think Lemon would make the change unless Bailey were announced.
Well, he wants Gossage anyway. Gossage is coming on. We did not hear Bob Bailey announced. Of course, if he has not been announced, he's not officially in the ball game. Now Zimmer's going to come out and he's going to ask Dinkinger whether or not Bailey had been officially put in the ball game as Guidry leaves. And Dinkinger, while Guidry's leaving, this conversation going on the third base side, Dinkinger told Zimmer that he had already waived Bailey in the ball game, so he's officially in the ball game.
Well, there's George Steinbrenner applauding the man who's putting all that money in the bank for him, Ron Guidry. And the Yankee bench congratulating Guidry. He worked 6 1/3 innings, giving up 6 hits, walked only 1 man, and that was intentionally. Last inning, struck out 5 and has allowed 2 runs. So Guidry cannot be the losing pitcher. He's either the winning pitcher or no decision.
30.
You know, Guidry and Lemon must have talked on the bench, and Guidry probably told him, Skip, I'm getting a little bit tired. If they get a runner on base, perhaps you'd better come out and get me.
I guess you're right, Bill. That's why Gossage continued to warm up so he would be ready.
I didn't think Guidry would start this inning because Gossage was throwing all the while the Yankees were batting and scoring their 4 runs at the top of the inning. And we thought that he'd come on beginning of the inning, but Lemon tried to sneak through with him. He got Hobson on strikes, but then giving up the opposite field single to Scott, Lem decided to go to a well-rested Goose Gossage. Well, these conditions ought to be pretty good for the Goose, and Bailey's going to have to bat. So Bob Bailey, who had been waved into the ball game officially by Don Dinkinger, now will bat for Jack Brohammer.
Looks a little out of shape, doesn't he, Bill?
Now, Beetle's been around a while.
Yeah.
I knew him when he was just 16. He's about 17, 18. Got a lot of money from the Pirates. Put it all in California real estate. That's why he's got that big...
Big what?
Well, big bank account.
You got out of that?
Get out of that one.
Yeah.
Out of play, it's 1-1. Bailey has always been a pretty good high fastball hitter. Never did like the breaking ball. Of course, Gossage will throw him mostly heat. That was a good heater. A ball and 2 strikes on Bailey. You saw George Scott at first base. There's 1 away. Yankees leading 4-2 with the Red Sox batting in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Gossage leads the American League in saves with 26. Called strike 3. Just caught him looking. Throws him right at home plate. 2 outs. I think Zim got finessed that time, Scooter. Had he kept Bailey back a little in the dugout, he might have been able to hit Brohammer against Gossage.
Brohammer or that kid Hancock or some other left-hand batter.
Well, he still could have sent Hancock up for Bailey, but he would have lost 2 men.
Yep.
Here's Burleson. He has struck out, bounced a third, doubled, and scored. Burleson is 1 for 3. Strike 1 on Burleson. Yankees lead 4-2, scoring 4 big runs top of this inning. Highlighted by a 3-run home run by Bucky Dent, his 4th, 5th home run of the year, and the biggest one of the year. 2 strikes on Burleson. Perfect pitch. Came inside with the fastball on the corner, then went outside. Fastball on the corner, down around the knees. Ball gets by Munson.
Looked like he tried to throw a breaking pitch there that time, Bill, and it really got away from him. Either crossed Munson up or weird pitch. Thurman's going to be charged with a pass ball. And I watch this now. Munson wants it outside. Watch Gossage where it goes. Just look at Thurman. He reacted very slowly, never thinking the ball to be that far inside.
Well, it's a ball and 2 strikes on Burleson. Bucky Dent charging. He's got time. Sides retired. No runs. 1 base hit, a man left on base. At the end of 7, the Yankees 4, the Red Sox 2. We've got a new third baseman for the Boston Red Sox. Frank Duffy comes on to play third base for Jack Brohammer. Bob Bailey had pinch hit for Brohammer and struck out. Bottom of last inning. Now Reggie Jackson will lead off against Bob Stanley here in the 8th. The Yankees lead 4-2. Jackson is 0 for 3. He's hit the ball hard once and almost looped one on the wall in the first inning. Wind blowing toward right field, held the ball up. Time for Yastrzemski to pick it up. He lined hard to Rice in the 4th and bounced to second in the 6th. 1-0 on Jackson. 2-0 as Stanley tries to keep the ball away. There's Duffy, the third baseman. That's out of play. 2 balls and a strike on Jackson. That's a high drive to center. Let's see. That ball is gone. It's out of here. The Yankees lead it 5-2. Jackson, a towering drive straight away center field.
Holy cow, did he hit that? 9 mile. Look at that Yankee bench. What a comeback by this team that has come back all year long, Bill.
Yes, sir. Jackson's 27th home run of the year, and he now has 97 runs batted in.
And now comes Miller time. When you've got the time to celebrate something special, head for the best tasting beer you can find, Miller High Life.
And now Zimmer's back out the mound again. He's got Hassler, Andy Hassler, left-hander throwing along with Dick Drago, and that's going to be all for Stanley. No, Stanley pitched to 3 men, gave up a double to Munson, driving in a run. He got Penelope the third out, and here's a home run by Jackson.
Boy, this is really high, Bill. This is unbelievable.
Right out over the plate.
Oh. Lynn knew it all the time.
Well, the left-hander, as we watch Jackson circle the bases again, well, he's happy right there. One thing I can say about Reggie, look at that happy Yankee bench. He gets around. He takes a long time leaving home plate.
Oh, yes.
But once he starts, he gets around.
Yep. Once he starts running, you're right. But he throws that bat down and admires it, which you can't blame him, because when he hits them, they're tape measure jobs. And you know, for Jackson, that's his 27th home run. That ties him now with Greg Nettles for the team lead in home runs. As we mentioned, all the averages in today's game count on the regular season, even though it is an extra game in the schedule.
So Andy Hassler will come on now and pitch to Greg Nettles. Yankees have Nettles, Chambliss due in. They're both left-handed hitters, and the switch hitting Roy White. So the Yankees now lead at 5-2. The home run by Jackson, as Phil mentioned, is 27th of the year, and the Yankees' 7th base hit in this ball game. And I have 5 runs on 7 base hits. The Red Sox 2 runs on 6 base hits. Hassler has done well against the Yankees. Overall this year, Hassler is making his 24th appearance, his 13th relief appearance. He's won 3 ball games and lost 5, and he's picked up 1 save. So the Yankees striking with the long ball the last 2 innings. A 3-run home run by Bucky Dent with 2 outs in the 7th, giving the Yankees a 3-2 lead, and a solo shot leading off here in the 8th by Reggie Jackson. And the Yankees lead 5-2. And the batter's Greg Nettles. He's popped to short twice and fly to right field. Nettles with 27 home runs, 93 runs batted in. Strike 1 on Nettles. For the Red Sox, bottom of this inning, it'll be Jerry Remy, Jim Rice, and Carl Yastrzemski against Rich Gossage. He checked the swing. It's 1-1. Yankees with a little breathing room. Now, did he call that a strike?
I think he did.
Finally called a delayed strike.
Yeah. They didn't ask right away.
Well, it's 2 strikes on Nettles. A 1-2.
The ball wasn't really that close. Must be tough to pick up, Bill.
I think it is. That's the reason Munson's having so much trouble. Thurm waits on the ball well, so normally he would just foul a pitch off, but Thurm hadn't come close till he doubled in a run last inning. Two and two on Nettles. Got him. Nettles goes down swinging for the first out. That'll bring on Chris Chambliss, the first baseman. He's lined to first, forced a runner, and singled to left and scored. He started the Yankees on their 4-run 7th inning. After Nettles had flied out, he singled sharply to left field. Went to second base on a single by White after Spencer flied out, batting for Doyle. Bucky Dent hit a ball on the screen in left field. Remy comes up and in time. They'll get an argument there. Just better back off. And Gene Michael makes sure that Chambliss doesn't bump the first base umpire. Good play by Remy.
Great play. Lemon started out, but he just wanted to make sure Chambliss was not ejected. Here it is. Never thought Remy had a chance. This is really a great play. Watch how far he dives. Right there, and then comes up, doesn't waste any time. very close, but no time to get kicked out of a ball game.
Whoops, stop right there.
Yep, he nudged him a little, but...
well, Stick got in there and got between them.
Yep.
So there are 2 outs now, nobody on base. The batter's Roy White. He has struck out, walked, and singled. He's 1 for 2. Remy at second base has another chance. He's got plenty of time here. And the side is retired. Yankees score a run on Reggie Jackson's 27th home run of the year. And at the end of 7 1/2, the Yankees 5, the Red Sox 2.
Well, the Red Sox fans haven't given up, Bill White. They're trying to cheer their champions on. The Yankees with a 3-run lead.
All right, Scooter, here's Jerry Remy. He's 0 for 2. And the Goose gets the first pitch in. Remy's fly twice to White in left field, and he sacrificed Burleson over in the 6th, and Burleson scored the Red Sox 2nd run. 2 strikes. Gossage coming on last inning, striking out Bob Bailey and getting Burleson on a bounce out in relief of Ron Guidry. Still 2 strikes on Remy. That's a fair ball. And Remy is double leading off the 8th inning for the Red Sox.
It's amazing Remy gets around on this. Ball was down and in, though.
Remy leads off with a double here in the 8th inning. The batter's Jim Rice, the right fielder. Rice has struck out. He's bounced out and singled in a run. So he's 1 for 3. 2 low ball, 1. Rice batting .316 now. He has 46 home runs and 139 runs batted in. And it's 1-1. Scooter, when you take swings like that, you very seldom connect.
That's right. It looks good. Everybody oohs and ahs, but you very seldom hit it.
Reggie had done that earlier, but on the home run, he stayed with the ball. In the right field, Pinella has a long run, but he's there. And the ball be cut off by Bucky Dent. 1 away.
I tell you, that Pinella's unbelievable. He's not the most graceful outfielder in the world, but when he gets to a ball, he catches. You know that play he made on Lynn was a game saver.
Right back in the 6th inning, Lynn drove that ball in the corner, hit it hard, and Pinella fought the wind and the sun, made the catch down around his knees. Here's Carl Yastrzemski. Veteran has homered, struck out, and bounced to first base. He's 1 for 3. Yaz got the Red Sox off and running in the 2nd inning with a solo home run, his 17th of the year. That gave him a 1-0 lead. They added a 2nd run in the 6th, but the Yankees came up with 4 in this 3-4 in the 7th to take a 4-2 lead, and they added 1 in the 8th. Top of this inning.
And that's a big run right now, Bill.
2-0 on Yastrzemski. Of course, you got to make Yaz swing the bat. Tying run in the on-deck circle. That's Carlton Fisk. Here's Pinella. See Lou having trouble with the sun. Just before the pitch, he'll shade his eyes. 2-1 on Yastrzemski. Three and 1. Here's Fisk. Base hit. Remy will score. And the Yankees now lead 5-3 with Yastrzemski driving in his 2nd run in the ball game.
I tell you, he has an amazing average, Bill, in playoff games and World Series games. Yastrzemski always coming through in the clutch.
Well, there he is at first base with one away. A few words with Chris Chambliss, and the batter is Carlton Fisk. Fisk has flied to left field, flied to center, and he's been intentionally passed. He's 0 for 2. And he represents a tying run. Too low, ball 1. Well, you mentioned these fans not giving up. Scooter, they're making a lot of noise here in Boston.
Yep.
That pulled foul. Fisk getting out in front of a sidearm fastball. That's up in the lights. Way down the left field foul line. 1-1. One ball, 2 strikes. Gossage now just rearing back and throwing that fastball. Still 1-2. Ron Guidry went the first 6 in the 3rd innings, gave up 2 runs on 6 base hits. He walked 1 man intentionally and struck out 5. Breaking ball is fouled off. Ball just hung up there.
Yeah, but if it's a little sharper, he'd have struck him out, because Fisk is looking for nothing but fastballs right now.
Count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes on Carlton Fisk with 1 out and 1 on. Yankees ahead 5-3 in the bottom of the 8th. That's out of play. Balls, 2 strikes on Carlton Fisk. There's 1 away, and Yastrzemski's at first base. See how the Red Sox play it. Probably, well, they could play it safe. Keep your ass there. They're playing it safe. Fouled outside 3rd. Gossage trying to keep the ball down. And he has walked slowly back to first base. He's had an excellent afternoon. A home run and a single, 2 runs batted in. Ken Clay up and throwing in the Yankee bullpen, along with Sparky Lyle. 3-2 on Fisk. Here's Yaz at first base, 1 away. Base hit. Sox runners first and second, now with 1 away. And Munson has a few words with Louis Gossage. Here's the Yankee bench. Yogi Berra Getting the outfield straight away for Fred Lynn. Here's where if you pitch a Scooter, you got to reach down and get a little bit extra.
Oh, you got it right here.
Lynn is wide to center field, bounced to first, and Piniella made a good catch on his drive back in the 6th inning. Runners at first and second, one away. Yankees ahead 5-3 in the 8th inning. Red Sox trying to come back in the ball game. Strike one. Yankee infield looking for two. Base hit. Yastrzemski will score, and the lead is down to 1. Fred Lynn drives in a run. That's the 3rd straight base hit off Joe Scassi. And here it is again. Lynn going the other way, waited on the ball well. Yastrzemski scoring easily. Bob Lemon now going out to the mound.
I'm sure he's not going to take Gossage out with 2 right-hand batters coming up, Hobson and Scott, but wants to know what the story is. He's not getting that fastball by those hitters.
Oh, the Red Sox coming right back here in the 8th inning, scoring 2 runs. Have narrowed the gap to just 1 now. The Yankees lead 5-4, and the batter's Butch Hobson. He's bounced to third, single, and struck out. Hobson is 1 for 3. Runners at first and second, 1 away. Gossage has been getting himself in trouble by getting behind and having to come in with the fastball. Into right field, Piniella, glasses down. Almost dropped that ball. Got it on the heel of the glove. There are 2 outs.
It's got to be a tough, tough sky out there in right field. Sun directly in back of us, shining right into Piniella's eyes.
He just got the ball on the heel of the glove then.
Yep.
And here's George Scott. He's doubled, struck out and single, 2 for 3. It was his single back in the 7th inning that knocked out Ron Guidry. Lemon went to Gossage, who promptly struck out Bob Bailey batting for Brohammer and got Brosnan on a bounce out. So here's Scott. Once again, Gossage gets behind. 1 ball, no strikes. And it's 1-1. Scott with a big sweeping swing. Where you going, Scooter? One ball, 1 strike on George Scott. 2 outs, 2 on. The Yankees ahead 5-4 at the bottom of the 8th inning. 1-2. Got him! Scott goes down swinging, and the side is retired. The Red Sox come back with 2 runs in the bottom of the 8th. Yankees 5, Boston 4 at the end of 8. One and one. Here's Paul Blair. He'll be batting for Mickey Rivers. That's foul. Flucky trying for a 2nd home run. It's this one foul up on the roof down the left field line. 1-2. Well, they've got him sitting on top of the roof here at Fenway. I hear the announced crowd of 32.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that.
Still a ball and 2 strikes on Dent. Well, they've got to stay away from Rice and Yaz and Fisk.
Yeah, got to have a 1-2-3 inning.
Or pick up a couple of insurance runs here. Got him. Good breaking ball from Hassler. Dent's caught looking. 2 outs. Here's Paul Blair batting for Mickey Rivers.
2, Paul Blair.
He'll stay in the ballgame, of course, and go out to center field.
Blair.
Back out of play. Blair on the year batting 169. He's been up 124 times in 73 ball games, has 21 base hits, 2 home runs, and 13 runs batted in. For 1-1. Two balls and a strike on Blair. (1948) the last time the American League had a playoff. In fact, the only other time they've had a playoff. Cleveland Indians came in here and beat Boston. Past the third baseman Duffy, base hit for Blair. And out comes Don Zimmer. Munson's due on. Zimmer looks like he wants Drago to come on. He's already made the move. Right-hander Dick Drago will come on and pitch against Munson. You know, watching all this action, Scooter back in Kansas City, the Kansas City Royals. They're happy to see everybody using everybody. Yankees have had to use Guidry and Gossage, their 2 best pitchers. And Zimmer's had to go through Torres, Stanley, Hassler, now Drago.
That's true. Kansas City is really sitting in the catbird seat for sure. And, of course, today the Yankees had hoped to go out there and work out. But the Cleveland Indians changed all their plans. They still hope to go out there, of course. But the game will be played tomorrow night, so they won't have a chance to work out at all. And don't forget, the Yankees hold this 1-run lead and win this ball game. Every game of the playoffs will be brought to you right here on WPIX 11 Alive. Remember, that'll also be on ABC, but you can hear the regular announcers like Bill White and Frank Messer do the games right here on 11 Alive, because I'm not going to make it. This is just too much. I'm too old. I just had my birthday on Monday. And I don't know whether I can
you look
stand
better than I've ever seen you look.
You're full of baloney.
Better than I've ever seen you look. Got a nice birthday cake. You gave away Cora's slab.
Bring that up again.
Yankees are leading here 5-4.
I know, but
and you're happy.
I'm happy, but the hair is getting grayer, the nails are getting shorter, and the stomach is churning. I got agita.
You got what?
Agita. That's an upset stomach in Italian.
Oh. Drago coming on. Agita. He's making his 37th appearance, his 36th relief appearance. He's won 4 and lost 4, picked up 7 saves. course, he's the guy that hit Munson last time the Yankees were in here, Scooter. Got Munson just under the helmet.
Yeah, that's true. And you know, it was a little unusual. Right after that, Drago was talking about what remarkable control he has, and that's why he likes to come in and pressure games, because he can throw strikes. And he's going to be facing Munson, as you mentioned. Right now, it's strange, this ballpark. The sun is shining only on home plate and out in right field.
Well, Drago taking plenty of time getting loose. He's supposed to be limited to just 8 throws. And that must be his 8th one there. Thurman Munson will bat against him. Munson has struck out 3 times and doubled in a run. Got a key RBI double in the 7th inning when the Yankees went ahead 4-2 over Boston. Thurman had a lot of trouble with Mike Torres. Torres throwing him sinkers down and away. Now he'll bat against Drago with Blair on at first base and 2 men out in the 9th inning. The Yankees lead 5-4. And Drago chases Blair back to first base. Hey, what's Scott doing? Picking up dirt, putting it on the ball?
That's what he did.
And giving the ball back to Drago. Say that Ellie used to do that for Whitey Ford?
Yeah.
Too low, ball 1. Of course, Ellie would rub it in the dirt. Scuff it up a little bit, give it back to Whitey. Throw that big curved ball or that sinker.
And?
What? Get you out. Two balls, no strikes to Munson. Drago comes on the pitch to Munson and gets immediately behind 2-0. Burleson will play at the second base. They just get Blair there for the force. And the side is retired. No runs, a base hit, 1 man left through 8.5. The Yankees 5, the Red Sox 4. By having your own full season or combination plan. Now, for more information, call Group and Season Sales at 212-293-6000. That number again, 212-293-6000. Paul Blair in the ball game to play center field for the Yankees. Gary Thomason over in left field. Lou Piniella still in right. There's Blair in center. We got a glimpse of Thomason earlier. And Dwight Evans will bat for Frank Duffy here in the bottom half of the 9th inning. The Yankees lead by 1. It's Yankees 5, the Boston Red Sox 4. Red Sox took a 1-0 lead in the 2nd inning. They had a 2-0 lead after 6. Yankees scored 4 big ones in the 7th. 3-run home run by Bucky Dent, responsible for 3 of those runs. Had an insurance run in the 8th, a home run by Reggie Jackson in the center field. Red Sox came back with 2 in the bottom of the 8th, and the Yankees lead 5-4. Here's Dwight Evans. Too low to Evans. Evans batting .248, 24 home runs, 63 runs batted in. And time is called. Gate loose out in the Red Sox bullpen. In the air to left field. Roy, nope, that's Gary Thomason just in for White. And there's 1 away.
Number 7.
So Evans tried to pull one out of here and hit it in the air to left field for the first out. And here's Rick Burleson, the shortstop. 5 home runs, 49 runs batted in, 1 for 4 this afternoon. Low again. Goose has got to start getting ahead of some batters. Two and 0. Three balls, no strikes. Three and 1. Burleson taken all the way. That short wall and lefty might be cutting on this one. Takes a look at his third base coach, Eddie Yost, for a sign. Ball 4. Oh, there's a tying run there at first base. 1 out. Jerry Remy's the batter. Remy has flied to left twice, sacrificed and doubled and scored. He's 1 for 3. Out of play off the left side. No chance for Nettles, although he goes way in the corner. Back in the seat. Strike 1 on Remy. Strike 2 on Remy. It's a big part here with Burleson walking. That'll bring on, unless Remy bounces into a double play, Jim Rice. He'll get a chance to hit. Still 2 strikes on Remy. Yankees, of course, would like to get the ground ball. Turn to and don't give Rice a chance to swing the bat. He's dangerous. 46 home runs, 139 runs batted in. Piniella can't see the ball. And they hold the runner at second base. Lou could not see the ball. Fortunately for him, his head right at him. And he got it on the first hop. Here it is again. Ball right over the plate. Remy lines it to right field. Piniella can't see it. But then luckily he gets the ball and Burleson decides to hold there. He might have been out anyway had he gone on to third base. So a wise choice by Eddie Yost. Good play by Piniella fighting the elements here at Fenway Park. Here's Jim Rice. He fouls it back. We saw earlier on the screen Piniella trying to shade his eyes from the sun with each pitch. Ball's just tough to see. Runners at first and second, 1 away. Red Sox down a run here in the 9th inning. Deep to right, but Piniella has room. And the ball was high enough for him to see it, tagging at second base and going to third is Burleson. Oh, there are 2 outs. This ball game going right down to the wire. Bob Lemon coming out as the batter is Carl Yastrzemski. There's Yaz. Runners at first and third, 2 outs for the veteran outfielder, first baseman. There's Yaz. He's homered, struck out, bounced to first, and single, driving in 2 runs overall. His solo home run in the 2nd inning, and single in a run in the 8th. It's another key situation for him. And that's a tough win on Rio's sun out in right field. Piniella can't see anything at all out there. They've got to get that ball up in the air to right field if he pulls it. If he hits it on the line, it'll be tough to see. 2 outs, 2 on. Yankees leading 5-4, bottom half of the 9th inning here at Fenway Park. Too low, ball 1. Yankees 5 runs, 8 hits. Red Sox 4 runs on 11. Popped up. That might be it. Nettles over at third base. He'll squeeze it and it's over. Yastrzemski fouls out the Yankee third baseman Greg Nettles. And look at those Yankees. They have come here in Boston and they have beaten the Red Sox again. Everybody's happy. The final score, the Yankees 5, the Red Sox 4, and the Yankees win the 1978 American League Eastern Pennant. Wow. The Yankees going down to the wire here. They were down 2-0 and picked up 4 big runs in the top of the 7th as Bucky Dent hit a 3-run home run to give the Yankees a 3-2 lead. Then Mickey Rivers walked and scored on a double by Thurman Munson. That made it 4-2 Yankees. Yankees got an extra run in the 8th inning when Reggie Jackson hit his 27th home run of the year. That made it 5-2 Yankees. Red Sox picking up 2 runs in the 8th inning, making it close 5-4. Gossage getting behind the Red Sox batters most of the ball game, running into trouble in the 9th inning. He got Dwight Evans a fly to left field for out number 1. Then Rick Burleson walked. Jerry Remy singled in front of Piniella. Piniella making a fine recovery as he could not see the ball. Fortunately for him, the ball was at arm's length, and he reached up and got it and held Burleson at second base. Burleson had thoughts about going to third, but stayed there, and Piniella made a fine throw over there. Then Jim Rice flied to right field to Piniella, and Carl Yastrzemski popped up to Greg Nettles, and it was all over. And we hope to get Phil Rizzuto in the dugout soon, so stay tuned, and we'll be back, we hope, with some interviews with the Yankee players right after this. Well, it's all over here. The fans still here. They gave their club, the Red Sox, an ovation as they left. Of course, they're certainly saddened by the loss here. The Yankees and the Red Sox fighting all the way down to the wire. At one point in July, the Yankees 14 games back, caught the Red Sox here, winning 4 in a row. Went ahead as far as 3.5 games. The Red Sox hung in, and finally the last day of the season, it was all tied, and here we are now, the Yankees, the champions once again in the American League East for the 3rd straight year. And don't forget that the Yankees and Picks will send the playoffs to you, and we'll be on the air tomorrow from Kansas City. Right now, let's go down to the field to Phil Rizzuto.
You know what happened on the last play? I didn't get a chance to run. My metal broke. And it came out my arm.
Wait a minute, Buck. We're on the air right now. Well, tell us what happened now on when your metal broke on that last
On
play.
the last play of the game, the balls popped up, and as soon as I looked over at Nettles, I reached in my arm, I saw him come down, and I dropped it.
Well, Bucky Dent, you know, it had to be one of the most dramatic home runs ever hit in any game, and for a season to come down where 2 teams won 99 games, you normally win the pennant. And a playoff game like this with all the excitement in the world, you had just fouled a ball off that vulnerable spot on your leg.
That's right.
And then, whether that confused Mike Torres, and do you remember the pitch you hit?
Yeah, it was a fastball hit.
It was a fastball.
It was a fastball.
Did you know it was gone as soon as you hit it?
No, I didn't. I didn't think I hit it good enough. I thought I hit it good enough to hit the wall, but I was just blowing it and hoping it would get over there.
Oh, Bucky, I tell you, you need a shortstop. The shortstops always come through in the clutch.
Well, I've been trying to, but lately I haven't driven in many big runs for us, and I was just hoping that I could hit the ball somewhere and get us one run because Gid was throwing real well today, and I hate to see a guy lose a game like that 2-0 or 2-1.
Oh, Bucky, they were the 3 biggest RBIs. I almost had really a heart attack up there when you hit that ball because it looked like Torres was going along and might have had a 2-0 shutout. I mean, that had to be the last thing in your mind, a home run, right?
That's right. I've been dreaming of this for about a month now, to be able to hit a home run to maybe win a game for us or something like that, and I'm just glad it came today.
Well, Bucky, I want to congratulate you again, really. A great playoff game and continued good luck in the playoffs at Kansas City.
Thank you very much.
Bucky Dent. And now with us, the president of the New York Yankees, Al Rosen. And Al, you've got to remember 1948, the last time they had a playoff.
We did a little bit easier then. We won 8-3.
I know, but at that time now, you were kind of riding the bench at that time.
I was Kenny Keltner's caddy.
I know, Kenny Keltner was a great third baseman, but it seems strange that you and Bob Lemon both were in the 48 playoffs, and here you are with the Yankees in the 78 playoffs.
Well, Lemon and I are celebrating our 30th anniversary. Excuse me, Phil, I've got a bad stomach, and I'm chewing all these things, but it was a great game, and the thing that stands out, as you know, these fellas are all professionals. They played like it when they got their act together. They just came on, and when you saw them in the 9th inning of the day, you knew that they were pros.
George Steinbrenner saw me in the lobby this morning. I was biting my nails, and he said, Phil, don't worry, we're going to win it. Now, I don't know how a man under that much pressure could be that opportunistic and, think that much.
Well, I want to tell you something, Phil. You know what this game is all about, and when those fellas went out to do their job today, they had one thing in mind, that was winning. When you see a young man like Bucky Dent come through in the clutch when he hasn't been hitting well, you've got to understand that Bucky has all the professionalism in the world in him. He reminds me a great deal of Phil Rizzuto.
Al Rosen, the president of the Yankees, and let's send it back up to Bill White.
All right, Scooter, a couple of happy Yankees. Bucky Dent hit the 3-run home run that gave the Yankees a 3-2 lead in that 7th inning, and Al Rosen, who in his first year as president of the Yankees, of course, is very, very happy here. The Yankees have just won their 100th ball game. They've lost 63. The Red Sox have just lost their 64th. They've won 99, and the Yankees, of course, won it by a game here in the American League East.